Way home. I'm on the way home. I'm on the way home. Today was an awesome day. I mean, I got a lot of stuff today. It just flew. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like my time is flying. Like I just feel like time is just it's just speeding up. You know. This morning I got up. I said, I'm going to leave out early this morning so I can beat the traffic. I'm going to, instead of me leaving out around 6:40, I'll leave out around 6. I'll leave out around 5 something. Y'all left out. I was like, why is everybody else? Why is everybody up? I was like, why is everybody up this morning? I guess everybody was on the same avenue as me. I'm like, aren't you guys supposed to be working remotely? What are you doing out here this early on the road? And now we're all on the way back home. I literally got off of work an hour and some change ago. But I thought I'll stick around until I can, traffic can die down or whatever. But I guess, it did what it did, but it's still a lot of traffic. So anyway, y'all, it's so funny. I was talking about my daughter's father, the person that I married back in 2012. Someone asked me a question about him, and I was just talking about my daughter's father, and the lady said, "You talk, when you mention this person or talk about him, you talk as if he's dead." And I was like, "Really?" And she was like, "Yeah, like he's not even alive." And I was thinking to myself, that's very interesting. Because maybe the person that I thought I knew, that wasn't him. Like, I start to think like maybe all along this person perpetrated like they were the husband, the ideal husband, but the whole time that wasn't him. Or maybe it was, I don't know. I know when you're not in the midst of when you're not with someone and you haven't seen them in a long time, I would say things like he used to do this and he was like this and he was, because I don't know that person anymore. So the way she said it, she was like, you when you talk or when and I don't even mention him anymore. I don't even mention him anymore. I even had a conversation with my mom yesterday, and I'm like, everybody chooses their path or what they want, like what they want to do. I chose my path back then. I don't regret it. I really don't. But I don't even talk about my daughter's father. I don't even talk about the man that I married. I don't, because it's been so long. What else am I going to say? Like, I can go back to 2012, but that was what, 11 years ago. I could go back into 2015. That was even longer ago. Like, what am I going to say about that person? That was a person that I thought I knew very well. And he was, I felt like it was a good relationship. We had really downers because, we went through life, with, children not being born, all that, But it was something when she was just like, the way you talk, because I didn't say anything bad. I don't talk negative about my daughter's father. My daughter doesn't even, she asked me this question and was like, does your daughter ever ask about him? And I'm like, my daughter thinks in her mind, she thinks that her father is lost. You better back up, lady. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking at this lady through the in her mind. And the reason why I say that is because when I showed her a photo of her dad, she was like, cool. And then she said, my dad's lost. And I was like thinking in my mind, you got that right, honey. But she thinks that he's just lost. So if someone is not there and you really don't notice that they're not there and you keep going on about your everyday life, that's how it is with me. Like you keep going on, and the more and more you keep going on, the more and more it's like the memory of that person is literally like it's almost like they died. It's like it's in a whole nother world or whatever. And the only thing you can say is just how that person was. So he used to do this, and because I don't know who he is. I just don't. And today it was funny because this guy he mentioned it before about, oh, your husband. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all too, I don't really wear my ring as much as I used to. Matter of fact, I don't even wear it like that. I'll wear rings when I go out, just because I like the bling on it. But I'm not even cautious like, oh, let me put on my band like I used to be at the beginning. um and it's just that sometimes I just don't feel like wearing a ring. And but if it depends on it depends on the certain situation. I may go somewhere and be like, let me go ahead and put my ring on real quick, you know. And then other times it's just like I gotta go, whatever. No. Um. So this guy said he asked the question. He was like, "So where's your husband?" And I was like, "My husband." I was like, "Shoot, I haven't seen the man I married in." Let me see. I started counting. And this is crazy because I rarely get those type of questions or guys asking me those questions. But I said, well, I haven't seen my husband in years. And he was like, why? I was like, just put it like this. He went on a very long vacation. So, and he was like, I said, how'd you know I was even married? He said, you look like a wife. And I said, oh, for real? What does a wife looks like? I'm like, what does a wife look like? He said, I don't know. You just seem like you're just very wifey, very kind. And I thought that was a really nice compliment. I was like, Dag, I ain't even got the band on. And he was like, you somebody's wife. I'm like, the only thing is the dude that I married, he wouldn't know. He like, you ain't my wife. Like, Forrest Gump, you can't sit here. This seat's taken. But I thought that was very nice. And I'm gonna tell you something too. I can see why people the scripture came to me, and I have to like read my word. Okay, I need to go back and go back to the scripture, because Jesus says to the husband, if you marry another, you cause her to commit adultery. I can see how lonely it can get when you have not went out on a date, you have not been with anyone, but it's just sometimes you just want a decent like a little small conversation of just being in existence sometimes. And although I say, well, what was the whole purpose of you doing? Excuse me, I'm talking to this silly car. Although I say, well, I have my daughter, for my birthday. I turned 41. So, yes, I am literally 9 years away from being 50 years old. And you know what? I claim every single year. And for my birthday, I wanted to do something really nice. So I was like, okay, let me go on the Odyssey and go out to dinner. And forget it. Me and my daughter were dressed really nice and fancy. and I'll invite my mother. But my mother was like, I don't want to go unless your sister goes and her son's going. I'm like, Mom, I'll feel guilty if I go. And I was just like, whatever. I don't even know what that was all about. So then I was like, it'll just be me and my daughter. But then I thought I went ahead and got this really cute, gorgeous, shiny. It was a very vintage dress. It was like red and had all the shiny little stuff in it. And then I had a really nice gold, shiny little cute little dress for Symphony. It was real cute. But then I looked at the menu and I was like, I'm not about to sit up here and spend $140 on my daughter's ticket to have dinner on a boat, and she would not even touch what's on the dinner plate. She would not even touch what's on the dinner plate. So we ended up going to the MGM and we ate at a really nice restaurant. And of course, my daughter, she tried her best, but they didn't have chicken nuggets and french fries like she wanted on the menu. So, hey. But I mean, I enjoyed going out with my daughter. It was nice teaching her how to put her neck in. But sometimes, I get it that sometimes you would like to go out with, someone other than your daughter and your mom. You know, I think I've been through this whole spell before. And then sometimes I even ask myself, Mona, what is it that you really want? I just want to be happy. That's it. And then, somebody said, well, happy is just a feeling. What is it that you really want? I really want that double staircase house with the elevator and the 7 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms with the spa on the inside. Sorry, you guys. Oh my goodness. But I don't know. I can see why people can, because even like a small gesture is a really nice, kind gesture. Because at some point in time, when you're on this walk, you get lonely as heck. You get lonely as heck, and then you start to look like I'm not in my 30s anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not in my 20s anymore. I mean, I ain't no ugly chick, but I'm just not in my 20s and I'm not in my 30s anymore. And I'm like, so you telling me, God, like for real, like I'm gonna be like 60, 70 something. But then I look at my mom, like I see what she went through. She looked good. But I'm like, and then it gets to the point too, and this is some real stuff. You really get used to being by yourself. That sometimes just the thought of being with someone, or even the man I married, I, sometimes I find it. Sometimes I'm like, no, like I wouldn't say repulsive or disgusting, but it's just like, leave me alone. No, you got so used to being by yourself, but then other times you're just like, no, it would be nice to, and then you're like, nah, I'm good, and I think it's because you've gotten used to being by yourself. But then what happens when your children get older and they leave the house and you're an empty nester? You know what I mean? Like God did not meant. God does not want man to be alone, okay? I get that. Now, by all means, this is not me going back on his word because I can't go back on his word, okay? It is what it is, but I'll say this in a heartbeat, like, watch who you marry. Watch who you marry. If you marry, like, literally, always love each other no matter what. Like, just watch who you marry. Because the person that you marry, I regret? I don't regret my daughter. I do not regret my daughter at all. And I do like my independence. I ain't gonna lie. I like running things. But I could have ran things too. with my husband around. We could have both been running it. He could have been the leader in right. He could have been Batman. I could have been Robin. You know what I mean? We could have both been running it. But that was the life that he chose. One thing I realized in life is that a lot of people aren't going to walk with you. Sometimes you have really good friends, great cousins and sisters and stuff, and at some point in time during a walk, you may come to a crossroad, and they may decide to go left, and you will decide to go right. And when you make a decision to keep the commandments of God and obey the commandments of God, you know it is what it is. 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 Like, it is what it is. Somebody said, so you're telling me, because you get around new people, they kind of know. So you're saying you don't plan to ever be with them? I'm like, I haven't been with nobody. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't. I don't plan to burn in hell. I'm sorry. Sorry, you guys. Sorry, you guys. I don't plan to burn. I don't plan to do that. And unfortunately, I can't even date because I don't want anyone else to burn trying to, you know what I mean? Plus, too, like my daughter, she has all my devoted attention. But again, one day she too will get grown and she'll be gone, out of the home and starting her own life. Until now, let me enjoy all of these years because already she's 8, 2 years from 10. From there, 8 years from 18. What the heck? You know what I mean? Like things just go by so quick. That's why I don't get it. Like, well, I do get it, but all these years go by so quick. Like you couldn't hold on to your marriage or try to dish it out and work it out. Of course, I'm sure there would have been a rainbow and some type of lovely family reunion or whatever you want to call it of family together. You see grown men too in their 50s, and you asking them like, what happened to your wife? Why ain't you with? Why didn't it work out? You know, not everybody went through whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just be like, oh, whatever. Maybe it's just overrated, and sometimes it's just like. But yeah, she was like, you talk, you talk about the way you say mention him when she asks questions. It's like he's dead. I'm like thinking in my mind, no, he ain't dead. He's somewhere around, I'm supposed. I'm sure he's somewhere around playing a video game. So let me stop. Let me stop. Let me be nice. I'm sure he's somewhere around having a good time, not regretting anything at all, not regretting leaving his wife and his daughter. Why would he regret that? And I mean, hey, why would he regret, going before God and promising to death do you part and to have and hold and protect and love your wife and raise your child? Why would he regret that? Why would he regret that? No regrets, no regrets, no regrets. But I will say this though. I wish no, because I still got the best thing out of the whole ordeal. It's my baby. Like she's just so worth it. My mom would say things to me like, not say things to me, but she may mention like she regret marrying my father. I'm like, mom, you if you didn't marry dad, I guess I wouldn't be here, nor the rest of your how many grandkids you got? 4, 5, 6, 7. How many grandkids she got? She was 4. Let me see, 4, 5, 6, 7 great grandkids. So I guess we all wouldn't be here if you didn't marry dad. I mean, it's not easy, but I understand. I understand what she's saying. But everybody talks about you got to choose wisely. But I mean, I think people need to. I think people need to understand the reality of marriage. You know, and it's a cruel thing to marry somebody knowing that you feel like it's a way out of it. You know what I mean? And even if my husband tried to come back around, it wouldn't be the same. It'd be like, hey, how's it going? You want to speak to your daughter? Hand her the phone. Like what do you say? I forgive it, but it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be like how it was when I was in my 20s. And I'm gonna say another thing too, you guys. I don't know if I said this before, but I I think the worst part of my life was my divorce. I mean, losing my children was the worst. That was the worst. Then was the divorce. That was even worse. That was even more worse. I feel like it put a toll on my body that I feel like it stressed me out so much. I started to get gray hair during the court process, and then I noticed that my eyes that were very clear, they started to look they started to have like little brown, they call them freckles or whatever, but like little brown in the area because I was extremely extremely stressed during that court time. That so much so that I wanted my husband at the time, I wanted him to disappear. Like I didn't even want. I was just like, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. You know, it puts so much toll on my body. And when I look in my eyes sometimes, I can see the damage that did. So I'll say this in a heartbeat. Marriage or no marriage, live your life in peace. You know, you ain't gotta take each other to court and stress each other out and just because it took a lot. It took a lot. Never had any issues at all, and my eyesight is perfectly fine. It's just that those are the things that I noticed after being dragged through court the way I was being dragged. And people think like, oh, it was just nothing. Like, if he's in his right mind, he would probably think like, oh yeah, my dad handled my light work, but he doesn't know like that took a toll on my body. And it got to a point where I was just like, I did not want any parts of this man at all. I was like really asking God to. I was really running to God for protection. Like it was just took so much toll, and everything that he tried to do, he fell in it. That's not something to laugh about because I'm sure it took a toll on him too. I mean, it just became real nasty, just very, very nasty. And it all was a source of a third party intervening in somebody else's marriage. It's like when you walk down an aisle and it says, speak up now or forever hold your peace. My father-in-law and my mother-in-law at the time, y'all should have spoke up or shut up after that. Like when I look back at being dragged in court, maybe I should have my mind should have been somewhere else. Now I condition my mind not to go in worry mode. I condition my mind to be like it's gonna work itself out. Don't even trip. Because then I remember throwing up. My stomach was sinking. I was tossing and turning. I mean, it was bad that I never want to go back there. And when somebody hurt you like that, yeah, you say, yeah, I forgive them. But you like, man, I ain't touching you with a 10-foot pole. And I get I married you. But daggone it, man, if you can do me like that and you ain't even lay a finger, like you dragged me through court and had me stressed to the rims while the whole time you was smoking your cigarettes. You know what I mean? Like it was bad, like, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't even talk about that dude no more. Like I don't even talk. I mean, I talk to y'all about it, but it's just like I don't even mention it. I don't even mention it. Divorce after 11 years, was together 16 years. Divorce is a death. No, death is a death. My mother said that though. My mother said that about my father. I asked my mother, did she feel any different when my father passed away? She was like, she felt like it was death when he divorced her and walked away and built another family. But shoot, my mother broke down at that table when my father wasn't there because he no longer walking this earth. You said divorce is a death. A lot of people think about it is that Jesus says to remain unmarried or reconciled. The that can be reconciled, but the death is it. That flesh, you're not even there. But it was amazing. It was funny to me because not funny when the guy said, "Yeah, you look like somebody's wife." You look like somebody's wife. I'm like, really? I look like somebody's wife. And he said, "Yeah, because you're so nice and kind, and you just have like this wifey thing." And I'm like, really? That's amazing. That's interesting, being though. That's interesting, being though I have not had a discussion with the person that I married since 2015. Matter of fact, my daughter was born in 2015. Yeah, I think so. We didn't even have a discussion in court. Honestly, I don't care. Like, sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, I don't care, man. Whatever, whatever. It's just, sometimes you just be like, you know, it would have been nice to go out on a really nice date with a very nice conversation. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. Like, I was in Costco's, and y'all, a lot of you now, I don't know what I did, but I hurt my leg. Like, I hurt my leg, like, really, really, really bad. And I woke up on my 41st birthday, September the 3rd, y'all. I woke up, and when I went to get out of the bed, my leg was like, I don't feel like working today. That was the first. I think I pulled a muscle because I've never felt that type of pain before. It was like my leg was really like, I don't feel like walking. I was like, what's going on? Oh gosh, don't tell me this is what 41's bringing in. And then I realized, I have been doing so much lift. I haven't been working out like I used to. Like, I haven't been jogging and doing those type of routines like I used to, but I'm starting to get back into my routine. But what I had been doing a lot is lifting and doing stuff. And when you don't have a MAN, you do things on your own. You lift things on your own until your body is just like, you can't be doing this. So I walked in, I walked in Costco's and I had to get some water. And I looked at those waters and I was just like, this is not happening right now. Cause I thought about my leg, like, in the back of my brain, it was like, Mona, you're so used to doing things on your own. You're gonna have to not do that. So when I walked when I walked over there to the waters, this guy was just like, he was just throwing these waters down, and I was like looking, and he was like, "Do you need some help?" And I was like, "I sure can use some help, sir." And he was looking out for the cookout. He lifted those waters up, and I was just like, "Dang, man, it must be wonderful to have a man around because they know how to do things quick, fast, and in a hurry, and they got muscles." And they got muscles. They know what to do. But anywho, but yeah, she was just like, I was grateful to that guy. I was like, "Thank you so much, sir." He was like, "Is there anything else you need?" I was like, "No, thanks." I was just so happy somebody was there to lift that up. Because sometimes I just be like, "Father, I'm gonna need your strength." And I'm not sitting up here talking about like I'm just some weak whatever, but y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. I'm not one of those daggone women that be like, "I don't need no man." No, I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up for that. You know, walking around like I didn't sign up to be walking around with Hulk Hogan arms, the Hulk arms. I didn't sign up for that. You know. Anywho, but she was like, "You talk when you mention her dad, you talk like he's dead." I was like, "Really?" Didn't notice. Didn't notice. Didn't notice it at all. Yeah, you seem like you're somebody's wife. And I'm like, "Really? How did you know?" Sometimes it's all in. I'm about to say it's all in the song. I don't even know. It's in y'all divorce after 11 years. Man, that had to hurt. Ouch. That gotta hurt. How? Who did it? About my ex left me for someone else. That's horrible. Does she regret it? Or does she regret it? It's a long time to be together with somebody and then just be like, "I've decided to leave." Lost her. My ex left me for someone else. You saying she lost her job after that? Has she been trying to come back to you? That's my question. Has your wife been trying to come back to you? Oh, she has been coming back to you, but you refuse to take her back? You refuse to take your wife back? That's not the same though. You didn't answer the question. Do you refuse to take her back? All eight of us was you. I think you're not telling the whole truth, sir. If you talk to your wife every day, she why didn't you ask her? You made it sound like you haven't even heard of your wife or you haven't even spoken to. At least y'all got a conversation. You know what I mean? At least y'all talk every day. That's a good thing. Y'all talk. Oh man, at least y'all talk and see what's going on. I have two boys for my kids. It sounds to me like you're not forgiving your wife. And I can understand why it's hard to forgive. But at some point in time, you are going to have to forgive, sir. Because God forgave you for all of the mess you did, even when you thought He wasn't looking. That's one thing about our God. He forgive us when we did the most craziest things, when we know we should have been on our way to hell to burn. And when we ask for forgiveness, He like, okay, I'll forgive you. You know, just don't do it again. I mean, I'm just serious. Us will be like, remember what you did? Remember when you cheated on me? Huh? Huh? Remember? And humans will keep on holding that over your head. Remember when you left me? Remember? We'll be quick to bring up the past. We'll be quick to be like, but remember what you did? 'Cause, you can't, you're the one that's kind of, it sounds to me like, she hurt you and you holding that for hostage. You're gonna have to come to terms, you know. The only thing, if you said so we divorced, she just said she didn't love me and left, so we divorced. Was that your first marriage and her first marriage? Was that both of y'all time being married for the first time? Oh well, I got news for you. All y'all did is get a piece of paper and it said a bill of divorce, but y'all still want flesh. And God can hold you accountable too for unforgiveness. And if you push her away where you're withholding being a husband to her and she go out there and committing adultery, you can get on trouble for that too. You know that, right? You know that, right? Because she ain't supposed to be out here. She's somebody else's wife. You know what I mean? She's somebody else's wife. Yeah, you can get on trouble for that, sir. If your wife is just like, please forgive me, I was wrong, I cheated. Could you please just forgive me? I messed up, I jacked up. I was wrong, and you just like, nope. You can get on trouble for that. You can get on trouble for that. I mean, yeah, I mean, what I mean by this is that if you both understand that you both are not allowed to date and you're not allowed to remarry, you both understand that. But if you're as long as you are living on this earth, you signed up for the forgiveness part. You know, you signed up. Both of y'all did. It doesn't give you a license to go out there and do harm because you just like, oh, we signed up for the forgiveness part. However, if your wife repented and she's truly sorry, what would Jesus do? Jesus says to love your wife like He loves the church, like Christ loved the church. And a part of that, He forgave sins. Come on now. And then the Bible also talks about the wife submitting to the husband like the church submits to Christ. You can't be sitting up here talking about, yeah, we used to be married until, she cheated and we got a divorce. We talking all, we got kids. We got two boys. Well, yeah. Well, then what's the? And she called me. I know she missed you for 11 years. Yeah, if y'all been rocking like that, where's the justice in that, Mona? The justice in it is love. Is the justice in it is God. It's the forgiveness. That's the whole purpose of him creating male and female for this cause. Shall a man leave his father, mother, cleave to his wife? You are supposed to be able to walk with your wife, and she's supposed to be able to walk with her husband. You are going to go through trials and tribulations. It's the overcoming of that and having a testimony about it. It's the having the testimony of saying, like, y'all went through something. And not only that, you guys are be a model to those who seek to be married in other marriages. That's the justice in it. It's just you forgave, you know. You know what the real justice is. You want to really see some punishments. You ready for some punishments? You love your wife, right? But if she don't get, I mean, that's if, for instance, she go out here and she with some dude, or you go out here and you with some woman. The justice in it to God is both of y'all gonna burn in hell for adultery. That's the justice. If you want to see get back, now you love your wife, don't you? I mean, you wouldn't want to see her burn forever. You know, us as humans, we probably may want to see somebody burn for like maybe a good 10 minutes. Man, not even that long. Like what my husband did to me, I may, I wouldn't want to see him burn. Maybe for 5 seconds and be like, see, your hot pots is on fire. But for eternity to see him in hell, nah, nah. That's where I have to forgive. And God forgives me for for what I trespassed against God. When you hold that grudge against your wife, as long as you hold even a little bit of it against her, there's something that when you don't forgive that little bit, then God is not forgiving you for something you did that little bit. And I'm gonna tell you, right, ain't nothing out here, because it ain't gonna ever be anything like your wife. And you know why? Because when y'all got married, you gave up that power, and when she got married, she gave up that power to you. That's why you can't seem to find anyone that replaces her or can top her, because God created her, created you, and made y'all one flesh. You're no longer two. That's what people be getting it twisted. They be thinking like, no, we individual beings, man. Nope, you're no longer two. You're no longer two. But now is she saying she don't love you now? Some people don't know what they got until it's gone, and then when it's gone, they be like, Dad, what was I thinking? What the heck was I thinking? Jeebus. Yeah, because they can't. Nobody's gonna be like your wife. Nobody's gonna top that. You can't top the one that you said to have and to hold to death do. You can't top that. Are you like nobody's gonna like nobody's gonna be. You're not gonna be able to top that. So all I can say is this: is that y'all gotta learn. You gotta learn how to truly forgive. And I'm sure she ain't never gonna mess up again. But you gotta literally. You can't be holding that like remember when you did that to me. You gotta really ask God, and you gotta really like ask him to work with you on your forgiveness. And God is gonna remind you all the times he forgave you, even when you thought he wasn't looking and nobody was looking, but he saw. He gonna remind you of them times and all the times you committed all them sins that gave you hell tickets to hell, and he's wiped that slate clean when you ask for forgiveness. So you have to do the same thing. You have to do the same thing. You have to forgive. You know, you have to forgive. But anyway, I'm about to go up in here, y'all. Hope you and your wife works it out. Ain't no point in you being like, ain't nothing out here. Ain't nothing out here, brother. Ain't nothing out here. Y'all might as well go on and get old together. You know what I'm saying? At least y'all could go back and reminisce about the times y'all used to have, and at least she's on that level with you when you could be like, remember that time when such and such was over there? Oh yeah, I remember that. Come on now, like man, them some blessings to have, you know. Now we living in the last days too. Shoot, got time for nothing crazy out here. Anywho, I hope y'all get back together and reconcile. That's the blessing and the huge testimony behind that is reconciliation and forgiveness.